How's it going, pirates? So right now we are working on a special project for Rebel Base Build. He has a contest going on that's actually due very soon. And so I'm working on my speeder because you could either make a speeder or a speeder garage. So I'll be working on a speeder. So this video that I'm putting together is for my channel, so you guys could see what it went into my build. So I'm actually going to be combining a lot of the parts that you're seeing in front of you here, and maybe a few other parts if I can find them. So essentially what I'm making is a bounty hunter's speeder bike. So I'll be combining all these different pieces. I just got to take the wheels off of this guy here, which I'm having a difficult time doing. It's actually been a challenge. I figured that I would just be able to just take out a few screws and then the wheels would just pop off like I did with my police motorcycle, police speeder bike that I made here. This one was a lot easier to take apart. I just had to take the wheels off, then add a few other greeblies, and I made this particular speeder here. I guess I could have just submitted this if I really wanted to, but that's not really fair because I haven't recently made this. This is something I made a while ago, so we won't be using that. I was just basically using that for my guide, and then I figured these bikes were all made the same. But unfortunately, this bike seems to be a little bit different. So I'm having a hard time taking the wheels off. I will try to do that off camera. And then also I'll be taking these different things apart so I can take parts of them off so I can add them to this. Now, I was initially going to take the arms off of this particular robot, but then I found these guns. And I think this might be a better fit for this speeder, as it does have little holes on the side here. And I do plan on using those. See little holes there? So I do plan on seeing if this will fit in the hole.
That's what she said. Michael.
So yeah, so essentially what I'd like to do, maybe I might have to shave these down a little bit in order to get them to fit. Now it's a little blurry, sorry about that. So yeah, so I'm going to see if now maybe I can get these to fit in here. Just maybe have to shave those down. So I can attach those weapons to the side here. I'm going to give it a dry brushing of some gunmetal or silver just to bring out some of the details on it. And then those will be attached to either side here. Or I just may glue them on. I'm still trying to figure that part out as I go along. That's how I do. I was planning on putting these guns, but they seem a little too big for this. So I may not use that, but I'll still take this apart as there are some parts I can use on other projects. But for now, we'll keep that aside. So yeah, right now the main focus is to try to get these wheels off.
A few moments later.
So here we go. We've dismantled both bikes. The black bike, as you can see at the top here, is completely eviscerated. So I completely took that apart. And then this bike is mainly the bike I'm going to be using for the body now. I was going to use the black bike, but once I started taking it apart, it just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So now I'm essentially just going to use the parts for fodder, and I'm going to be focusing on this bike as the main body of the bike. So what I'd like to do is actually get rid of this back part of the seat and just keep this lower portion. As you can see now, the front piping now has been completely removed. So I actually, that's how I wanted it. So what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be cutting a portion of this front gray part here so that I can fit the extra parts that I have, like this particular part. What I'd like to do now is actually, when I'm going to cut that gray part off, so I'm going to cut it right up to about here, because right underneath here there's a little peg that plugs into this gray part for this section. And then what I'll be doing to replace the part that I'm cutting off is putting this part in its place. So it'll fit in there, and part of it will be sticking out at the front. So this will kind of be my air intake. So that's going to be at the front here. The handlebars, what I'd like to do is actually put them in a position where the rider will be leaning a little forward. So before they were in place like this, but now what I'd like to do is maybe put them down like this. So they're kind of like that. or I may even just cut it off, so shorten it a little bit and put them, still have them facing forward like this, but a little bit shorter so it's closer to the where the rider is sitting. And then what I'd like to do is maybe drill a couple of holes towards the back. I have to see exactly where the legs will be placed so I can put the leg rest or the foot rest or pedals, and I can put those maybe at the back so the feet are sitting on the footrest, but back here. So that way the rider will be leaning forward a little bit more. So now what I might do here is cut off the seat and then glue that portion on here. I don't know, or maybe add some other greeblies up here. But either way, a lot of these holes that you're seeing are going to be filled up.
That's what she said. Michael.
So yeah, so essentially what I'd like to do is fit those into here. Or maybe just glue it into that position here, like cut the pegs off and just glue it into position. So I don't want to put them up here because this is where I'm going to want to put my handlebars. Although they would look pretty cool in this position up here. They actually fit perfectly into that hole.
That's what she said.
I don't know. Or what I might do is drill holes down here and place the cannons maybe down there, like down in this position here, because I can't seem to get them to fit inside there. And then, or maybe I could just put one cannon here and then drill a hole on this side to put the other cannon there, because as you can see where this is here, the peg's too big. So I may even just expand that hole and put them in there. But either way, we'll figure that out. As I said, I like to do things on the fly. Before, what I was going to do is use parts from this on the black bike, but then I realized that the black bike just was too small, like I said earlier. So yeah, this is how I'm going to use using this as the main body. At one point, I was actually thinking about flipping it over like this, because it actually looks pretty cool like that as well. And then just putting a new seat up here, or maybe using the seat from the black bike and putting it on here, and then drilling some holes to put the handlebars in, and then putting the cannons down here. I don't know, it's still a work in progress. I'm hoping to finish in the next little while, as it is due later, and I still have to paint and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. Either it's going to be this way, or it's going to be this way.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we've done a little bit of work here. What we've done so far is I've actually flipped it over first of all. So this is no longer the top, that's the bottom. I'm gonna have to fix this part up here by adding some greeblies. I added where the handlebars used to be, I added the two cannons, so those fit perfectly. And then on the top portion where is that piece? So where this was initially sitting, so this was initially sitting on here, and that was initially the bottom. What I've done is now I've pulled that off, and I've cut off one of the two pegs, because there were two pegs, there's like this one here, and I cut one of the back one off, and I drilled a hole through it. And what that's for is the handlebars from the motorcycle will fit right in here, and because that peg for those handlebars are long, it'll fit right through and actually peg into the hole here. So where are those handles? So these handlebars are no longer going to be used, so I can use that, keep that as fodder. And the handlebars that were with the motorcycle will now be a part of this bike. So where are those? Here it is here. And as you can see, the peg for this is fairly long. So what will happen is this will go right through here, and actually it fits perfectly. It kind of dry fits into that spot there. And then this will fit onto here. And then this will peg into that section there. And I don't really want to peg it in right now in the back, but the peg, actually I test fitted it to see if it would fit into that back hole, and it does. So I don't want to push it all the way in because I kind of like how much friction's on there. So I don't want to expand that hole too much and mess it up by playing around too much with the handlebars and trying to peg it in and all that kind of stuff. So it's gonna look pretty cool. I think it looks pretty cool in this layout, in this configuration. And then that front part is gonna have this this greebly here will be fitted inside to this section here. So it's gonna probably fit in about that far in. It's actually gonna look pretty cool. So we made a little bit more progress. As you can see, this is actually just friction fitted in there because I just cut the portion out. I have to sand it down so I can put them flush together and then glue it in. I think it looks pretty cool. Still not 100% on this. I may take it off completely and maybe put a grate here instead. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Or I may just leave it like that. Either way, it definitely looks cooler. The good thing is it actually can stand on its own. But I will be drilling a hole at the bottom of it so that way I can have it sit on one of my stands so it looks like it's actually hovering. Pretty cool. You guys can let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But yeah, it's coming along. All right, so we just gave it a paint job. This is just the first coat, so you could see at the back it's going to need some more coats. It was actually rather cold, so it was kind of starting to clump up. You can probably see some of that up here. Either way, I think it definitely looks a lot better in black. I've added right now I'm just test fitting the cannons on here. And to be honest with you, I changed my mind about these. I do still like them, and I do want to still add them on to this vehicle. But what I want to do now is I saw something a little bit more suitable for this particular vehicle. As you know, the pilot is going to be pretty vicious. So I kind of wanted him to have more powerful cannons on his speeder, so I actually decided to upgrade them to the G.I. Joe Serpentor hover vehicle. He had these cannons on there, and I figured, hey, these would make a great fit to this particular vehicle. Now I do have to heat it up in order for it to fit in there. That's how come you're seeing these the paint scratched away here, is because of the fact that I tried to put these on there, and in order to force it in there I have to kind of squeeze it. So I'm gonna have to heat this up in order to fit it in a lot easier and deeper onto it. And then, but I still want to keep these weapons. So what I'm thinking of doing is maybe finding a way of, I was thinking about trying to put them into this hole and they don't fit.
That's what she said.
So I may have to widen that hole a little bit in order to be able to fit these cannons in here, because it's a bounty hunter and I want to be able to have my bounty hunter go after his bounties and do so regardless of what he may encounter, whether it's a ship or whether it's an army of people. I want him to be able to take it down with no problem. So this is going to be my bounty hunter that is with the speeder. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you may not have seen what his undershirt looks like, but his undershirt is the Punisher logo, because I want this guy to be the Punisher, but in my universe. So that brings us to the end of part 1. So until then, pirates, take care.